What's going on, everybody? Good late morning. Hope you guys are still doing well today. And we got to talk a little bit about these Washington Huskies because they got a game tomorrow. They're going to Michigan to play the Wolverines. And this is a pretty interesting game. This is likely going to be for a spot in the top 25. Whoever wins this game will probably get in. In the case of Michigan, they're going to get back in because they were there until they lost last week. And Washington hasn't been there yet, but they're like 3 spots out. And if they beat a good, at least a good Michigan team on the road, they probably get in. So there are some stakes here. It's an early morning game. Now, we do need to talk about that a little bit because you guys know I like to do streamed watch-alongs of Husky games every week, but I'm not so sure if I'm going to do one this week. So we got to talk about that for a minute. I'll walk you guys through my thought process here. First, though, let's talk a little bit about the sponsor. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today. Get to it and go have some fun with sports this year. All right, welcome back. So tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., that's kickoff. First of all, that's early. That's pretty darn early, earlier than I usually would like to start a stream. I've done it before, but the thing is, as you guys know, I'm just getting over being sick. Mostly past it. As of this moment, I would say not entirely past it. And if I get up and stream this early, I'm going to have to drink coffee, and I don't really like drinking coffee because it's icky, and I don't really like getting up and streaming this early just in general. And again, I'm just getting over this whole long bout with a cold, and I don't know if I want to get up and have to go through the whole thing and then just be streaming to like 35 people. And I don't know, guys. I don't know. So put me down for a maybe for this game tomorrow morning. I don't know if I'm going to stream it or not. All right. Now that that's out of the way, just go ahead and I honestly, I would assume that I'm not going to stream the game, but maybe I will. Tough call. Again, I don't think there are going to be a lot of people there because it's such an early game. It is kind of an important game, though, so I kind of do want to stream it because of that. I don't know, but let's talk about this game a little bit here because this is one of those games where you find out if Washington is good or great, or basically where they fall on that spectrum. Because at this point, I think we can conclude that Washington is a good team, but I don't think they're an elite team. They have too many holes, they have too many problems. I don't think there's any way you can say that Washington so far this year has been elite, but they're at least good and they might be great. And this is the kind of game where you find out if they're great or not because you're going on the road, you have the 9 a.m. start, you're playing a good Michigan team that is 4-2 themselves and is playing for some stakes as well. I mean, look, I don't think it'll happen, but Michigan has to be sitting there thinking, hey, if we run the table, if we go 10-2, then we might get in the playoff. We have a real good chance of getting to the playoff. So they're still playing for that. Of course, so is Washington, but Washington does have some big things to handle down the line here that may be insurmountable. But if you want to be technical, yeah, Washington's probably in that same spot where they're like, yeah, we should, we should be treating this like we have a chance to be a playoff team this year. So this is going to be very interesting. And the thing is, I look at what Washington has done over the last 3 games they played. I'd say last 3 games. And I look at Michigan and I'm like, if they do that, there's no way. because what Washington has done the last 3 games they played is basically sleepwalk through the first half, maybe even 3/4. In the case of Ohio State, you could argue they slept-walked offensively the whole game, but regardless, the point is they come out flat. They've come out flat for afternoon games. They came out flat for a night game last week, right? They're playing, was it? No, I'm sorry. Last week was Rutgers at 6 p.m. kickoff, and they're still coming out flat, and they let Rutgers jump on them 10-0, and Washington doesn't really do anything until you get towards the end of the first quarter. So 3 weeks in a row under different circumstances, home games, road games, whatever, they start the game really weakly. And then as the game goes on, they warm up a little bit, they start making some plays, and in 2 of those games, they were able to find a way to win. But I'm looking at this Michigan team, and I see a rushing attack on Michigan that is really good. Really like Justice, their starting running back. He's been great for them. They've got a great 2-headed rushing attack in general. I think their rushing attack is one of the best in the country, just in general. But Justice Haynes has been great for them. And I also see a really good defense. Michigan's had a good defense so far. Granted, some of their production come against lesser opponents. And they have given up points to teams like USC, and they gave up some points to Nebraska. But it's a very good defense. So if we come out flat tomorrow, if we start the game and we take the first quarter, 20 minutes, 30 minutes off, and we go into halftime down like 13-0 or something like that, you're going to allow Michigan to just do what they want to do, which is run the ball. You're going to let Michigan just kind of drain the clock with their dominant rushing attack that you're probably going to have a hard time stopping. This run defense is probably better than it was last year in Washington, but it's still far from fixed. And Michigan has the ability to go crazy on you with their rushing attack. But if you can challenge them and keep the game close or get ahead of Michigan, then you force them to go to their passing attack. And I don't believe in Underwood. I don't believe in that passing attack. I don't think it's very good. I think that it's pretty inefficient. I think they average about 200 passing yards a game. It's a very lackluster attack. And in games where they have been pushed and they've been put in a situation where they really need to perform, I think that there are clear cracks in the armor. So that's how you beat Michigan. But the problem is, with what I've seen from Washington the last few weeks, where they've started slow, you're not going to put them in that situation. So it's hard for me to pick them. It's hard for me to feel like we can win this game because of that. I mean, you're already going on the road, a place where Washington has struggled under Fisk so far, for the most part. You're already talking about a matchup where your offense is not going to be able to just go up and down the field at their leisure like they have some games this year. Michigan's defense is a little too good for that. But you break it all down, you pull it all apart. The bottom line is you cannot start slow. You have to put up some points early so you stay in the game, keep it close, force Michigan to use all the elements of their offense, because I think that if you do that, you're going to force them to make mistakes and you're going to be able to win this game. But that is what it's going to take. So that's where I am right now. That's how I feel about this game, and that's why I'm not feeling it at the moment. This is a winnable game. This is definitely a winnable game for Washington. I think that any team that has as inconsistent a passing attack as Michigan's is beatable. But you got to actually make them have to use their passing attack. I think they would be more than happy to have Bryce Underwood. I think his first name is Bryce. But I think they'd be thrilled to have Underwood drop back to pass 13 times tomorrow and then just run the ball otherwise and control the game that way. And if you let them, I don't think it's going to be good. I think that they're going to kind of do what Ohio State did to you, where they just kind of grind it down. Maybe they don't put up a ton of points, but they control the game. So we can win, but with what I've seen the last couple weeks, I don't think that we will. So I'm hoping that I get up tomorrow morning and that I see something good. I see something better. I see something along the lines of what we saw against the first few teams we played this year, but that was a lifetime ago, and this is a much higher level of competition. So Devin Williams, Denzel Boston, Jonah Coleman, and of course Jed Fish. You guys just got to start fast. You guys just have to jump on them, take them out of their comfort zone, and I think good things will happen. All right, so see you guys later. Bow down to Washington. More videos later. But I'm not sure if I'm streaming this one tomorrow or not. We'll see. We'll see how I feel when I get up. All right. Everyone have a great day. Bow down. And look, if we get this one, we have a chance to make this a great year. Maybe not an amazing year. Maybe not we're going to win the conference and make the playoff and win playoff games great. But it'll be a really big step in the right direction for this program. All right. Everyone have a good day. Bow down.